Saturday morning. The good kind. Eggs going, coffee poured, and you reach for the carton that says not from concentrate, because years ago you decided that was the honest one, the grown-up one, the one that costs more for a reason. You pour a tall, cold glass, and it tastes exactly like sunshine, exactly like the commercial, exactly like the glass you poured last July, and the one before that, and the one you'll pour next January when there isn't a ripe orange within 1,000 miles of your kitchen. That last part is the whole story. Oranges have a season, your carton doesn't. And the reason the taste never changes, winter, summer, drought, glut, is sitting in a document written by a fragrance company. You didn't do anything wrong. You bought the pretty word. The juice did exactly what it was engineered to do, which is taste like a memory you can't quite check. We pulled the paperwork on 8 orange juices. Sunny D, great value from Walmart. Maid, Florida's natural, Tropicana. Simply orange, and 2 more you'll actually want to buy. Most of them have something to explain, and the one that looks the most honest, the clear bottle, the plain little word on the front, turns out to run on an algorithm that solves a quintillion variables just to make sure your Tuesday tastes like your Sunday. Here's the part that'll stick with you. The more a carton insists it's pure, the more lab it took to get there. Quick thing before we start, type the orange juice in your fridge right now. The brand, and the exact words on the front, in the comments. By the end, you'll know exactly where it landed on this list. 4 terms are going to do all the work tonight: flavor pack, deaeration, ethyl butyrate, and the Brix ratio. Learn them once and no carton can ever sell you a sunrise again. Because the front of the box is the orange, the back is the recipe. We judged all 8 the same way. Labels, lab reporting, court filings, the company's own words. Paper only, no guessing. Counting down, worst at the end. Number 6. First, the honest part, because this channel doesn't do panic. Nothing in this video is going to hurt you. Orange juice isn't poison. Flavor packs aren't poison. The chemical we're going to name in a few minutes is generally recognized as safe, and it's the same family of stuff that's in a real orange. Nobody on this list is sending you to a hospital. The crime here isn't safety. It's a story. A story about freshness and farms and mornings, printed on the front of a box that a different truth sits quietly on the back of. The facts tonight come from a Yale University press book by a food researcher, from Bloomberg Businessweek, from federal filings, and from the company's own labels and websites. Every claim has a receipt. One more thing before the countdown. For years, the story went like this. From concentrate is the cheap stuff, not from concentrate is the upgrade, and 100% means they didn't touch it. Hold that story in your head. Watch what the paperwork does to it. Number 6. Sunny D. Let's start with the one that's almost honest about it. You already suspect Sunny D isn't orange juice, and you're right. But look at how the suspicion gets blurred. The bottle glows orange. The name is a sunrise. The marketing is all vitamins and morning and kids running to the bus. And the actual juice content? The label advertises 5%. The ingredient list tells the truer version. The concentrated juices sit down in the 2% or less basement, underneath water and high fructose corn syrup, which are the first 2 things in the bottle by a mile. So this isn't juice with some water added. It's sugar water with a rumor of orange. Legally, it can't even call itself juice. It's a juice drink, and that one extra word is doing an enormous amount of quiet labor. Sunny D earns the bottom slot for a strange reason. It's the most honest carton on this list. It never really claimed to be the orange. It just stood next to the orange, wore its colors, and let you fill in the rest, which is the shallow end of tonight's pool. Because from here up, everything says 100%, and everything still has something to hide. Hold on to that, because the next carton drops the sugar water and picks up a passport. Number 5. Great value from Walmart. The cheapest orange juice in the aisle, and the vaguest about where it's from. Great Value's frozen and from concentrate juice is exactly what it says. And your foundation term for the night lives right here. From concentrate means the water was boiled out somewhere far away so the juice could ship as a heavy syrup, then water was added back near you, reconstituted. It's not a scandal by itself, it's a shipping decision. The scandal is the somewhere far away. Store-brand concentrate is a global commodity blended from whatever tanker is cheapest that quarter, and the single biggest orange grower on earth isn't Florida. It's Brazil. When the label says from concentrate and nothing else, that blank space is the point. You're not being told a lie about the origin. You're just not being told the origin at all. And in 2012, that blank space got briefly, accidentally readable. We'll come back to it, because what got found in that concentrate is the loudest thing anyone ever discovered about the American juice supply, and it wasn't found by a watchdog. It was reported by Coca-Cola. For now, great value sits at number 5 for what it leaves off. Cheap isn't the trick. Cheap without an address is. And here's where the list turns, because from this point up, every single carton says 100%. Watch the con change shape. It stops being about how much water is in the box and becomes about who wrote the flavor. Number 4. Maid. 100% orange juice, built partly in a lab, and I can prove the second half with a word you're about to own for life. Your first term, the flavor pack. Here's how it works, and it applies to nearly every big carton from here up. After oranges are squeezed, the juice is heated and stored. But juice that's going to sit for months loses its taste. The volatile chemicals that make orange smell like orange evaporate. So the juice companies hire flavor and fragrance houses, the same firms that formulate perfumes for Dior and Calvin Klein, to engineer a flavor pack, a precise dose of orange-derived aroma chemicals added back before the carton is filled to make old juice smell freshly squeezed again. And because those chemicals are technically derived from oranges, the law doesn't make them listed. It just says orange juice. Maid is a Coca-Cola brand, and if you've ever thought its orange tasted a little candy sweet, a little cartoon orange compared to the others, that's not your imagination. That's the flavor pack Coke chose for it, a house style. A signature, tuned like a cologne. This is the anchor of the whole video, so sit with it. The orange flavor you love in that carton isn't coming from the orange in front of you. It's coming from a purchase order. And Maid is only number 4, because at least it's from concentrate. It never pretended to be the fresh from the Grove premium. The next 3 did. Which brings us to the carton that wraps the whole illusion in a flag. Number 3, Florida's Natural. This is the surprise of the list, and it stings the people who were trying hardest to do the right thing. Florida's Natural is the carton for shoppers who read labels. American flag on the front, the words owned by Florida farmers, a whole identity built on "you can trust this one. It's ours. It's local." It's the honest choice. It was the honest choice. Then citrus greening, a disease that's been gutting Florida's groves for years, made Florida oranges scarce and expensive. And around May of 2022, according to the company's own website, Florida's Natural quietly began blending in orange juice from Mexico and Brazil. The flag stayed on the carton. The oranges left the country. In 2025, a class action put it plainly. An American flag is an implied made-in-the-USA promise, and shoppers were paying roughly a 50% premium for a Florida story that was now partly imported. That case is still an allegation. No verdict yet, but the sourcing isn't in dispute. The company answers it in its own FAQ. And this carton is not from concentrate, which unlocks your second term, deaeration. Not from concentrate juice isn't shipped as syrup. It's stored full strength in million-gallon tanks for up to a year. To keep it from spoiling, they strip the oxygen out of it. That's deaeration. And stripping the oxygen also strips the flavor, which is exactly why even the premium, not from concentrate cartons need a flavor pack waiting at the end. The upgrade you paid for is the reason the lab was necessary. So the flag didn't move. The oranges did. And the word natural did a lot of standing around while it happened. Now, 2 cartons left, and both of them call themselves the pure premium version. Read the word pure very slowly, because it's about to cost somebody. Number 2, Tropicana Pure Premium. The gold standard. The orange with the straw in it. 100% pure and natural. It says so, right on the front, in a font that's been telling American families that's the good one since before you were born. Your third term is going to explain what pure survived and what it didn't. In 2011, 7 plaintiffs sued Tropicana. Their claim, in the filing's own words, was that pure premium is pasteurized, deaerated, stripped of flavor and aroma, stored for long periods, and then colored and flavored before being packaged. None of which, they argued, is what a normal person means by pure and natural. And the specific chemical at the heart of that flavor step is your third term, ethyl butyrate. It's the single molecule the industry discovered American noses read as fresh squeezed orange, so it's dialed up in the flavor packs made for the U.N.'s market. Mexicans and Brazilians get a different chemical, because they smell a different orange. Your fresh is a formula, and the formula has a passport too. Now, in fairness, and this channel is always fair, Tropicana won. The class never got certified. The case was dismissed by 2019. Ethyl butyrate is safe, and it does occur in real oranges. So Tropicana beat the lawsuit fair and square. Here's what it never beat: the process. Nobody in that courtroom argued the juice wasn't deaerated. Nobody argued the flavor wasn't added back. The company won the word pure on a technicality about what pure legally has to mean. The tank, the year, the flavor pack, all of that was never in question. Pure survived the lab, the tank, and the courtroom. It just never really survived the ingredient list. And that leaves one carton, the one that looks more honest than all of them, and needed more machinery than all of them to get there. Number 1, simply orange. Look at the bottle, clear, so you can see the juice. A plain, calm little word, simply, like a promise that nothing complicated happened in here. No cartoon sun, no straw, no flag. It's designed, down to the last pixel, to feel like the one that's just orange. And it is, by a wide margin, the most engineered orange juice in this entire video. In 2013, Bloomberg Businessweek reported how Coca-Cola actually makes Simply Orange, and the name of the system is your fourth and final term, the Black Book. It's an algorithm, built for Coke by the same revenue modeling consultant who designed how Delta Airlines prices its seats. It holds data on more than 600 distinct flavors inside an orange, plus each batch's acidity and sweetness, plus weather, plus crop forecasts, plus cost. And it does one job. It tells Coke exactly how to blend the tanks to hit the same taste every single time, right down to how much pulp floats in your glass. The measurement it optimizes for is the Brix ratio, the exact balance of sugar to acid that your tongue reads as a perfect orange. Coke reportedly runs up to a quintillion variables to lock that number in. And here's their own stated reason for the whole apparatus, and it's the most honest sentence in this video: to guarantee consistent orange juice 12 months a year, even though the orange harvest lasts about 3. Read that again. The oranges are ripe for 3 months. The flavor is identical for 12. The 9-month gap between those two facts is the entire industry. The tanks, the deaeration, the flavor packs, the Black Book. All of it exists to erase a season you were never supposed to notice was missing. That's why Simply Orange is number 1. Not because it's unsafe. Because it is the purest looking bottle on the shelf, and it's the only orange juice on earth that needs a supercomputer to taste like an orange. Simple is the most expensive word in the dairy aisle. The front is the orange. The back is the recipe. And this recipe has a quintillion lines. So pause the countdown, because the real question isn't which carton, it's how. How does a fruit with a 3-month season fill your glass, unchanged, on a random Wednesday in February? Go back 100 years. Orange juice was something that happened to an orange in your own hand, minutes before you drank it, and only in the months oranges existed. It couldn't be shipped, couldn't be stored, couldn't be standardized, because it started dying the second it left the fruit. Freshness was a place and a season. You had to be there. Then the industry solved being there. And here's the move nobody advertised. To sell orange juice in July, you have to store it from winter. To store it, you have to deaerate it. To deaerate it is to kill the flavor. And to sell dead flavored juices fresh, you have to rebuild the flavor in a lab and add it back. Every step is reasonable. The stack of them is the whole illusion. Freshness stopped being a fact about the fruit and became a target the factory hits on purpose, all year, forever. Now add the supply chain, because your carton isn't even from one country. Brazil grows more oranges than Florida does, and most big American juice is a blend. Florida, Brazil, sometimes more, poured into the same tanks. You want proof the whole aisle drinks from one river? In 2012, Coca-Cola told the FDA it had found an illegal fungicide called carbendazim in its own orange juice and in its competitors. Banned for citrus in the US, legal in Brazil. The FDA started testing at the border and detained about 11% of all imported juice that came through. Nobody got sick. The levels were low. But look at what the moment revealed. The problem was industry-wide because the supply is industry-wide. They aren't rival rivers. They're the same tank with different labels stapled on at the end. And once you see the tank, the sameness stops being comforting and starts being the tell. A real grove has good years and lean ones. A real orange in March doesn't taste like one in November. The entire purpose of the machinery is to make sure your glass never admits that. Nature is variable. Your carton is a promise to hide it. And somewhere along the way, consistent quietly became worth more at the register than honest. And the flavor packs are legal to leave off precisely because they're built from orange parts. So the one ingredient that makes fresh possible is the one ingredient the law lets them never mention. That's not a loophole they snuck through. It's the door the whole business walks through every morning. Now let me take one wrong idea off your hands, because you've probably absorbed it. The kitchen test crowd will tell you pulp is how you spot the real stuff. Lots of pulp means fresh. No pulp means fake. It's a comforting test, and it's worthless. Pulp is a separate product. It's stripped out, standardized, sold by the tanker, and added back to hit a spec. Remember, the Black Book controls your juice right down to pulp content. The high pulp premium carton and the no pulp value carton can be the same engineered juice wearing two different amounts of a garnish that was added on purpose. Pulp doesn't prove a farmer, it proves a setting. While we've got the receipt out, run the money. Not from concentrate cartons ask for a real premium. Florida's Natural's own shoppers were paying around 50% more for the specific privilege of juice that got stored full strength in a tank for up to a year and then reflavored. You're not paying more to be closer to the tree. You're paying more because keeping full-strength juice fresh tasting for 12 months is expensive, and the flavor pack is part of the bill. The upgrade isn't less processing, it's more storage. You've been paying premium prices for the harder-to-hide version of the exact same trick. Run it across a year. A carton or two a week, $1 or so of premium on each, and you're quietly spending real money every year for the privilege of tasting a season that isn't happening. Not on better fruit, on better storage. It's small enough per glass that you'd never chase it, which is the whole design. Now multiply that design by every breakfast table in the country, every week, and you can see exactly why the tanks got built. So what should you actually buy? 3 winners, judged by the same rule that just took down 6 losers. The fewer steps between the orange and your glass, the better. Number 3 of the good ones, Uncle Matt's Organic. Certified organic, short ingredient list, no flavor pack sleight of hand. A small brand whose entire pitch is that there's nothing to explain on the back. You'll pay more. You'll pay it for what isn't there. Number 2, Natalie's Orchid Island. Read that ingredient list and feel how strange it's become to see it. Oranges. That's it, one ingredient. A family operation in Fort Pierce, Florida, that squeezes to order in small batches and doesn't warehouse a year of inventory, which is why the juice has to be used within about 30 to 45 days. That short shelf life isn't a flaw, it's the receipt. A carton that spoils fast is a carton that was never deaerated into immortality. The expiration date is telling you the truth the front label won't. And the #1 orange juice in America isn't a brand at all. It's an orange, and your own 2 hands. Buy the fruit, cut it, squeeze it into the glass, drink it in the next 10 minutes. And every single thing in this video evaporates. No tank, no flavor pack, no black book. No word games about the word pure. The winner was never a better carton. It was the end of cartons, the one version of this drink that has no back label, because it has nothing to put there. No expiration games, no premium for storage, no word that needs a lawyer to explain it. Just the oldest version of this drink. The one that every carton above it spent a century and a supercomputer trying to imitate. 3 tests before you go. No lab required. Test 1, the flip. Turn the carton around tonight. If the ingredient list says anything but oranges, if you see natural flavors, or from concentrate with water listed first, you're holding a built product, not a squeezed one. Natural flavors is the polite address where the flavor pack lives. Learn to see that phrase and half the aisle goes transparent. Test 2, the shelf life red. Check the expiration date against today. A juice that survives 6, 8, 9 months in cold storage was stored and stabilized to do exactly that. A juice that dies in 30 days barely left the fruit. Long life is a processing confession. It's not proof by itself, but it's a strong tell, and it's printed right there for free. Test 3, the squeeze. This weekend, cut 2 real oranges, squeeze them into a glass, and taste it next to your not-from-concentrate carton. Same temperature, same mouthful. Notice that the fresh one tastes brighter and messier, and a little different from yesterday's orange. because real fruit varies and the carton never does. That sameness you used to trust is the exact thing to stop trusting. One caveat, same as always. This is a wake-up, not a verdict. Comparisons teach you. Single glasses prove nothing. 4 myths to leave in the parking lot. Myth 1. Not from concentrate means fresh squeezed. No, it only means the water was never removed. The juice was still deaerated, still tank stored, still reflavored. Myth 2. 100% juice means nothing was added. The flavor pack is built from orange parts, so the law lets it hide under natural flavors or nothing at all. 100% is a math claim about juice, not a promise about your morning. Myth 3. Pulp means it's real. Pulp is a dial, set on purpose, sold by the tanker. Myth 4. Orange juice is basically health food, a serving of fruit in a glass. It's the sugar of several oranges with the fiber left in the peel bin. Nothing here is unsafe, but a tall glass of premium Oj is closer to dessert than to an orange, and the health halo is the last flavor pack, the one they add to the idea instead of the juice. Here's the whole video in 5 seconds at the shelf. Flip the carton. If the ingredients aren't just oranges, it's engineered. Check the date. Short life is a good sign. Ignore the flag, the straw, the word simply. And when it matters, buy the fruit and squeeze it yourself. 5 seconds, once, then it's automatic for life. So here's what you're walking out with. Flavor pack, deaeration, ethyl butyrate, the Brix ratio. 4 words, and the juice aisle just turned into glass. Most of it failed. A juice drink pretending to be sunshine, a flag over imported fruit, a courtroom win that never touched the process, and at the very top, the most honest-looking bottle on the shelf running quietly on an algorithm built to erase a season. The front is the orange. The back is the recipe. Now it's your turn. Did your carton make the list? Tell me the brand in the comments. The exact words on the front. And I read every single one. The brand you name most becomes the next file we pull. And send this to the person in your life who buys the not from concentrate one because they think it's the honest choice. They've been paying premium for a memory. They deserve to read the recipe. See you at the next test.